Hi guys, sorry I am so late. My goodness, could I have been any later? I had a kitty emergency. Do you guys ever have one of those where you're just like getting ready to do something and then you're like, oh, the kitties need help. The kitties need my help. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a good night. I was not going to do a video today. I was spending the better part of my day actually doing some housekeeping with the channel. You know, it's wonderful to deliver you guys content, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the back end that I have to take care of. And sometimes that requires me using and doing like an entire day of just taking care of issues that I have to clean up or maintain for the channel. So that was my day today, along with spending time with my little boy. Lately, since it's summer, are you guys doing things with your kids if you work from home? We have been really into watching the Gaming Beaver, who is this YouTuber that is really into Jurassic World Alive and this other game called Modded. And we will have breakfast and then we sit on the couch on the chair together and we watch videos of dinosaurs battling each other, and it's so fun. So welcome everyone. I'm glad you're here. We have some updates. There was a couple things that I was wanting to do, and I thought, well, let's just like put it all in one video. That way we can, you got my son on Gaming Beaver and he loves it. You know, it's tough if you're a parent to, before we get into it, it's tough if you're a parent to find gaming channels that are safe for littles under like 12. Some of the gaming channels have more teenage language, let's just say, and my little doesn't like bad language, and so he will point it out if you say it. So we try to find channels that don't use bad words. And I think the worst that the Gaming Beaver usually says ever is like damn or, you know, hell, that kind of stuff. Nothing severe. So he is he's kid friendly and he loves dinosaurs, and that's what we love about him. So we can see your posts, Sherry. So I'm not sure why you're not seeing yours, but I can certainly see you, Sherry. So welcome everyone. Nobody blames me. You got to take care of business. It's the one side of being there's certain aspects that you can love about being a, what do you call it? A small business owner. But then I also don't have anyone to actually do I don't have an assistant. So I have to do everything myself. Yes. And the Gaming Beaver is really funny. He has silly jokes. One of the like staples of Gaming Beaver is he says "Buongiorno," and he says it like in sort of a silly voice. He's actually from Australia, and I don't know if he was actually like a developer in the Jurassic World games. He was really big into that kind of stuff. But anyways, if you guys have kids that like dinosaurs, the Gaming Beaver. And then there's this other channel that plays this frog game, and his name is Pungence, and my son really likes him, and he also does not use any bad words. All right, so I haven't had a chance, but I will check my IG messages, Carrie. I will take a look later. I haven't really been online too much today. All right, so I got a message this afternoon from one of my subscribers, and they said, Myka deleted her channel. And I was like, well, that's interesting. Now, I understand there are other channels that cover Myka Stauffer, and we know that, you know, multiple channels can cover multiple topics. Since we've covered her since the beginning of everything that went down last year, I think it would be silly if her deleting her channel wasn't covered here, since we did the whole thing last year and we did a video about a month ago. Actually, I've kind of done a video about her every few months. So yeah. Anyways, Myka deleted her channel. And so I was actually looking at YouTube, and when I was looking at her channels, it's gone. And what I thought was interesting though, is that there was this channel that I had never seen before. Oh, Amanda says she's seen out and about in her area and she's pregnant. Okay, so apparently the rumor is that she's pregnant. So that would be her fifth child. Oh my gosh. 5 babies. So, allegedly, I don't want to go on the record here. I don't really know. Anyways, I want to show you a couple things. Just give me a second. I was like looking at YouTube and I noticed that there was this weird channel that I had never seen before, and it has like 4,000 subscribers. And one of the linked channels on this is Stauffer Garage. And when I had searched for her before, I hadn't seen this channel. So I was like, this is interesting. So this is what I found when I was doing some digging. I don't know if she's going to try to come back and rebrand, but I noticed that this was in the search, and it says Meals with Myka and James. So I don't know, when I recall last year when everything went down, she had Cash Crush. Remember the channel where she was teaching you guys all how to make a lot of money on YouTube with, optimization and, hitting the algorithm and making thumbnails. And she had that video where she talked about how much money one of her husband's videos made that had like thousands of views, millions of views. And then I don't recall this channel. Do you guys remember this channel? I don't remember this channel. I have not seen this in the search until today. Now, it could have been there before today, but last year it certainly wasn't visible. Now, this channel's been around since 2014, so it's not necessarily a new channel, but it could have been renamed. So my question is, anyone in the viewers that have followed along with the Myka story, do you remember a channel called Meals with Myka and James? Anyone? Because the About tab says that it is, the About tab says Meals with Myka is an interactive cooking show hosted by Myka Stauffer, and the show focuses on healthy, delicious meals, but viewers are very welcome to make requests. Be sure to subscribe for more recipes posted every mouth-watering Monday and more. And if you see, you can actually see that there is it was joined in April of 2014, but I never saw this channel before. So I was like, wait a minute, did I miss this? Come on, really? Meals with Myka? I would have seen that last year, right? So I'm going to double check to see what this Twitter account associated with, because it says there's a Twitter account associated with it. And the Twitter account is suspended. Okay, so it's linking to a suspended Twitter account, which makes me think that maybe this is an old channel, or she just hasn't updated the Twitter. What's that about? So bizarre. So what is the story of Myka Stauffer? So if you're brand new to the story, welcome to the trash dumpster fire that is Myka Stauffer. So Myka Stauffer was a mama that had a family page or a channel that basically was all like mom of 6 or mom of 5, busy homeschooling mom that, natural vegan mom, what I eat in a day. And she really got big when she started making videos about her intentions to adopt. And she adopted a little boy from China. And she had a series where she literally made millions of views on. The video where they actually went to adopt the little boy had 5 million views. So this was a pretty widely seen video. And through the course of the adoption, after they brought this little boy home, so I will just call him H, she brought them home. He had a lot of high needs. And once she had another child, so she gave birth to a 5th child shortly after bringing H to her house. H apparently had severe autism. And he also had as far as what she said, some issues like with his neurological development, the actual brain development. So it created some behaviors that apparently they were ill-equipped to handle. And they put out this big video where they were basically, you know, we were terrible parents. We found a new home for it. There was actually an investigation as a result of it. This was a woman that had tons of sponsorships. She was doing Fabletics or Fabletics. Kate, what's her name? Kate Hudson's brand. She was like Danimals, HelloFresh. Like she had tons of sponsorships, and she literally got dropped by every single one. The interesting thing was that her subscriber count loss wasn't that significant, but she actually, when everything went down, people started like wanting answers, and she makes this video, and the video is like basically saying that she wanted to like, she needed to rehome him because it wasn't safe, because behaviors were very severe. And they did sort of they did a GoFundMe for H. They also did they did this whole thing on her channel where they did puzzle pieces. So people could like donate like $5 and they could buy a puzzle piece, and they were going to put the puzzle piece, each piece together. And then they were going to do a reveal of H's face after he was right before he was adopted. Mind you, when you're going through international adoption, she went through China. You are not supposed to discuss the child before you actually have the child and have custody of the child. So she was releasing a lot of very sensitive information about this little boy before she had ever actually like brought him home and had legal custody of him. And then when they went to go pick him up, they had trouble bonding, and he actually bonded better with her husband, James. So I don't know what exactly happened. The police report was pretty extensive. I have an entire playlist that goes through kind of everything. When this all happened, I interviewed some of her neighbors. I actually interviewed one of her old coworkers. So one of the craziest stories was she had this old coworker who alleged that she pushed a medicine cart into her when they were working as nurses. So she worked as a nurse for a short period of time. And then when she wasn't working as a nurse, or when she was allegedly working as a nurse, she had there was a counting error with the medication, according to her old coworker. And that resulted in her and the coworker having some sort of altercation. And the coworker alleged that Myka got physical with her. So she ended up suing Myka and the company. And I can't recall what totally happened. Neighbors contacted me and let me know that like she wasn't vegan. She wasn't really a Christian, because she was trying to pretend like she was a Christian homeschool mom. They also said that the homeschooling idea kind of came up after she became friends with other YouTube homeschool moms. Basically what her and her husband did was they looked at the algorithm on YouTube to find out what was trending and what was hot and what was getting views. And then they sort of emulated that. So they pretended to be vegan. They pretended to be homeschool parents. They pretended to be Christian. They went through the adoption world. And then when the adoption stuff fell flat, she rehomed the poor boy. So the little boy was eventually like, people got so concerned by her video that it created this uprising where people were like demanding to know where he was, because there's really bad laws when it comes to adoption, when it comes to like international adoption, and the laws from one state to another, and how you can actually like rehome a child varies from state to state. In some states, you don't have to go through an agency. Some you just go through like attorneys. And so the police ended up doing a full investigation. The police report was horrible, because one of the things that people got really upset with her about was this photo of she had put duct tape around the little boy's finger. And it was because she said that he bit his finger. And in the police report, if I remember this correctly, she told him that she just didn't spend the money. And so she just used it was like a way for him so he wouldn't like hurt his thumb, and he wouldn't suck off she said he was sucking his thumb raw. So didn't spend the like $30 for a thumb guard, which is he was supposed to have. So when they actually found him, he was with a new family. He was doing really well. And yeah, so, right. So there was a lot going on here. So she is like, now it was weird because right after everything happened, they ended up deleting their Stauffer life. So they had multiple channels before all of this happened. They had the Stauffer life. They had Stauffer Garage, which is James's channel. They had Myka Stauffer, which was her channel. And she had this channel called Cash Crush, which you can see at the top below it. So that's what I found there with the channel. I still have not seen this food channel before. So I don't know if this is some sort of rebranding, but I noticed there was this comment on his Instagram right here, and it says, good job. Now it's time for Myka's turn to post something new, right? So this was 3 weeks ago under one of James Stauffer's videos on Instagram, and I noticed that James Stauffer liked it. So I was like, huh. Do you think she's going to try to rebrand herself into something completely different? Because if you remember, they started trying to work on a rebranding model before all of this happened. She started this channel called Cash Crush, like with the anticipation that something was going to happen to her main channel. And her main channel, I think at the highest peak, had just over 600,000 subscribers. So not a super big YouTuber, but not a small one, kind of in that mid-large range. She hadn't hit 1 million yet. Augusta says, it's time that these dysfunctional, toxic people get what they deserve. TLC should be ashamed of themselves for exploiting all of these families and the drama and the secrets. Well, I would agree, but Myka's actually from YouTube. So, but I would agree. Desi says, it's easy for people to think, well, she didn't know what to do. Most of us have no clue what to do. I'm constantly learning as my son grows, and I'm proud that he's autistic. Yes. So the story ended up making waves in the autism community, and a lot of autism mamas and papas. I'm an autism mama. That's kind of what I got really hitched onto because my son has autism as well. And I was like, this is so horrible. Like, why would you just give up on a child just because they're autistic? They just need better services. But, and the fact that she had such a high needs child and still like went on and had another baby right away had people super concerned. And then she was also in the middle of having such a high needs child going through Facebook groups and trying to talk about doing another international adoption. It was all very off the wall. She may have sold her channel to have funds to rebrand. It's been a year since this went down. I don't think she resold the channel because you can't even find the channel. So she's either, now here's the thing. You can take your channel offline and it will still be there. So she may not have fully deleted her channel, but it's deleted from public view. To permanently delete it would take some time and effort, but I don't really know. So I am all kinds of like, this is interesting. I'm not sure what to think about this. Maria says, my daughter's 25 now and is growing more and more independent each day. Every child is different. So yeah, it definitely reverberated, let's just say, with a lot of the autism parents, and just a lot of adoptees got really offended by it. It created this very large conversation about the lack of federal laws in regards to international adoptions, in regards to when they fail. We learned a lot about what percentage of international adoptions and overall adoptions, what percentage of them fail. And then we also learned about these really creepy Facebook groups where parents are like trading their kids on Facebook and basically saying, can you house this? Can you take my child? So, I wonder if she left as subs only view. No, So the channel is completely gone. You can't find it anywhere. So you can take your channel offline, or you can delete it. It's a pretty serious, I mean, my guess is that she can't go back to that specific channel because the subscribers would still know who it was. Rebranding wouldn't really change anything. It wasn't like she kept the channel up and just deleted all the videos. She just took the channel down. But having this addition of this food channel and then James liking a comment about her coming back gives me kind of the feels that maybe they are going to talk about trying to rebrand this in some way. I don't know. Augusta says, Myka just needs to go away, live in the real world outside of YouTube, and to get the help she desperately needs. We don't need any more toxic influencers. Y'all, have you all been paying attention on YouTube with all of the drama? So much drama the last few weeks. I think Jeffree Star is selling his house, and he came back to talk about his mental health. David Dobrik came back. Shane Dawson was teasing a video. So much stuff. So much stuff. I thought her cancellation was pretty significant in that it would be hard for her to come back, but her husband is still on YouTube acting like nothing happened. So James has his own channel, which is called Stauffer Garage. And let me just show you his channel. So James has his own channel, which is called Stauffer Garage, and he has 1.18 million subscribers. And it's interesting because in the past year, he has gained over 100,000 subscribers. So yeah, she had just over 600,000 subscribers right before all of this went down. Like 620, I think, was her subscriber count. She was down to 600-ish, maybe below 600 at the time. I don't even know. But 600,000 subscribers is a pretty good size. So I'm not familiar with her. Does she have loyal subs that support her coming back? Now, this was something I did talk about. You know, every channel, even though there's cancellations, every channel does have loyal viewers that don't care about the stuff that's going on around them, right? They will just tune in because they love the person. And honestly, I would say that she probably does have people that support her. Even in every storm of cancellation, regardless of who it is, there's always people that are going to support the person that's being canceled, or thinks it's being blown out of proportion, or doesn't agree with why people are so mad, and they're going to still support that creator. So yes, I'm sure she still has supporters, but most of her YouTube friends publicly separated from her, and she dipped out and like literally disappeared. Because I can read you what her last Instagram post said. This is what she posted on June 24th. So we're still like just under a year ago when all of this was going on. It says, I want to first off apologize for the upward and take full responsibility for all of the hurts that I have caused. This decision has caused so many people heartbreak, and I'm sorry for letting down so many women that looked up to me as a mother. I'm sorry for the confusion and pain I've caused. I'm sorry for not being able to tell more of my story from the beginning. I could have never anticipated the incidents which occurred on a private level to ever have happened, and I was trying my best to navigate the hardest thing I've ever been through. I apologize for being so naive when I started the adoption process. I was not selective or fully equipped or prepared. I received 1 day of watching at-home video training and gained my Hague adoption certificate, which was required by an accredited adoption agency. For me, I needed more training. I can't say I wish this never happened because I'm still so glad H is here and getting all the help he needs. I also know that even though he's happier in his new home and doing better, than he still experienced trauma, and I'm so sorry. This is a woman that literally like was on her channel talking about how so prepared she was though. So a lot of this to people felt like she was really like lying. She said, I also knew that even though he is I'm sorry, no adoptee deserves any more trauma. I wanted to help so bad. I was willing to bring home any child that needed me. For this, I was naive, foolish, and arrogant. I wish so bad I would have been more prepared and done more. I wish the decision to disrupt never had to be made. Adoption and all special needs are amazing, and I have a ton of respect for every adoptee, adoption parent, and special needs parent. So she upset so many different communities with this. She said, I look up to you in a million ways, and I'm sorry for hurting the community in any way. Lastly, to debunk a couple of complete rumors, we did not adopt a child to gain wealth. That was like the biggest rumor. While we did receive a small portion of money from videos featuring Huxley and his journey, a small portion, y'all, a small portion. He had 5 million views for his gotcha day. Do you know how much money a 5 million view video makes? A lot. Every penny and much more went back into his care. Getting H the care and services he needed was very expensive, and we made sure he got every service and resource we could possibly find. Secondly, we are not under any type of investigation. I'm hoping to share more from my side of the story soon. And lastly, I'm so sorry for letting you down. I also want to mention that moms need a safe place to ask for help when they are struggling. No questions asked. We love H and know that he was the right decision for him and his future. So in her very final statement to the public, she said that she was going to tell us more soon, and then she never told us anymore. And by the way, you guys, she's a registered nurse. And so in the process, she was like talking about how she could basically handle anything because of her training as a nurse. So anyways, I was looking back to this. I was looking at Stauffer Garage's channel lately, and I noticed that his views have kind of been going down. And I don't know if it's because we're on the heels of the anniversary that people are revisiting this and getting angry all over again. But 3 months ago, his videos were getting like, he had one that got 1.1 million views. But if you look at his most recent videos in the last month, 2 months, the biggest viewed video was 236,000 views. And this is a channel that has 1.18 million subscribers. So I'm not sure what happened between that 1.1 million and today, where his video from 5 days ago only has 82,000 views. I don't know if something new has come out. I don't know if it's just that we're back at this point where this is when it all happened. So there's new, you know, like a resurgence in stories about her. I'm not sure like if James did something to get canceled, or if people are just like, yeah, we've seen the biggest, creepiest car, dirtiest car ever. Like that's all he does is car detail. So I'm not sure. James' channel is kind of dying a little bit. He's not, I mean, based on his views though, he still would be making decent money overall. Also, the world is opening up and people don't have time for that. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people were watching a lot of cleaning house vehicle stuff, right? His videos are so staged, in my opinion. You see like his thumbnails and he looks just like the detail. Is it the Detail Geek? He copies the detail. I think he copies the Detail Geek. And the Detail Geek got so mad because people were comparing him to them. And he was like, I didn't give up my kid. Like he did a whole like Q&A where he got so angry. And I might add that if you're looking for some eye candy, oh my gosh, the Detail Geek, he's good looking. And he also plays guitar and sings. So he's not hard on the eyes, like at all. He's a lot, in my opinion, he's cuter than James Stauffer. But I know that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. All right, so I was doing some other things. Oh yes, he did have some stuff with Lily Brushes. So it's funny because during that same time, Lily Brushes reached out to me and did let me know that James was like pushing these brushes that he had purchased. Anyone else have like tons of fur all over them this year? James had been promoting these brushes and he had bought a ton of them during this time and was promoting them heavily. And Lily Brushes basically made the decision to never let him buy from them again. Like that's how they're a small company. They don't have a lot of products. And they said it was a like the first time they've ever made that decision ever in company history. And James's always excuse now is that he's found other products that work better. Even though Lily Brush literally put out a statement, they were like, we don't want to be associated with this man. We will never sell to him again. So if you really want to know why he doesn't use Lily Brushes, it's because Lily Brush doesn't want him to buy, and they've put a stop on order on him. So he's prohibited from buying products from them. Like, you know that you have upset someone when you legitimately can't even buy products. Like, they don't have anything to lose here at all. Okay. So totally random. That's got to be hard making a living on YouTube. You get used to a certain income and it can change at any time. It can, for sure. And month to month can vary based on views, based on content. I always tell people, or I always feel like my advice to anyone that's considering starting a channel and to just save money and don't overspend. Like, make sure that you're saving money to pay your taxes, make sure that you're, covering your bases with that, and don't spend the money as fast as you make it, because you don't know month to month what's going to happen. So we're pretty frugal on this end, and we just save a lot. And, as we can buy things to improve the channel, that we spend money on that, and, do little splurges here and there for the family. But beyond that, it's hard because you don't know what's coming. So, and I'm just like the person that's always like save. Anyone else out there that like is like always prepared for the worst? So you like hoard your money and like you hoard things. I don't hoard things, but I definitely have always my whole life been a saver. All right, so let's go on to something so random. I actually had one of my subscribers who is based in Utah reached out to me today, and they said, my friend owns an RV place in Utah and the Browns were there buying RVs. So Cody Brown and Janelle were at RVs at General RVs at General RV in Utah, and they were buying RVs. Now, if you remember last year, Janelle on last season, she said that she wanted to get an RV and sort of like go cross country and be like a mommy that's buying RVs and go around, and doing that thing. But if they're buying multiple RVs, like, what do you think that's about? Like, this is a family that literally has so much money tied up in their property. Cody's behind on his taxes. He hasn't paid his taxes on a piece of property in over a year, and they're buying an RV. Like, are they going to like sell their houses and become like RV fam? Are they going to become hashtag van life? Hashtag van life. I cannot see Cody doing that. That seems like too down. But my thing here is that y'all know, do you know that the real estate market is horrible right now in Flagstaff? Like, nothing's for rent. And Miss Janelle's house just sold, and she was in a rental. So part of me thinks, in the meantime, as she looks for a place, are they going to park an RV on the property and Janelle's just going to like stay there? She would have to be able to hook up to electric though, and there's no electricity on that property. They haven't done any work there. So are they going to like allow Janelle to like park in Robin's garage, or park in Robin's driveway, or park on Christine's driveway? Like, is she just going to park somewhere and like kind of squat? Because someone told me Robin wouldn't ever be hashtag van life lover. I think this is in response to the house being sold. Someone that's local in Flagstaff sent me a message and said that it was the same one that has a daughter or a child. I'm not sure if it was a daughter or son that was in the same class as Isabel. So one of Isabel Brown, she just graduated from high school. One of her classmates, one of the parents reached out to me from the graduation, and they had met the Browns there. And they said that Cody and Christine were lovely. Said Christine is always such like a nice person, super kind. Said Christine was like super bubbly and happy, and Cody was like waving and being like really friendly with people and like allowing all the kids to take, parents to take photos with them. So I guess like, and the kids are like super well liked in the area. So I'm just like wondering, but that parent also told me that rentals are really like, there's none. Like they said that it's a complete seller's market. There's not enough homes on the market. People are getting huge, like prices are super high. And they said it would be really hard for her to find a rental right now. So knowing now that they're buying an RV, I'm like, are they going to live in an RV until she can like build on the property? Or are they going to just start like, are they going to hightail it out of Flagstaff? What do you guys think? Robin loves Robin. Yeah. So the parent did say that Robin is kind of snotty, and y'all, everyone is entitled to have their own opinion. This parent was not a fan of Robin's. The parent said that they saw Janelle a lot out at the grocery store, like all the time. They said Janelle was so friendly and so nice. And they said the same thing about Christine. So they're not needing rental properties and have taxes due. So Robin gets the mansion and Janelle gets an RV. I mean, right? Isn't that how it works? She's worried to be in the RV forever if they waited until they built on Coyote Pass. It's true. Do you know how much money it's going to cost to build all the houses they want? I came across a channel with this girl saying she lives where the Duggars live when she was talking about him with the technology. She doesn't know how he did it. Okay. I'm not sure. Would this be a caravan of RVs? I don't think they could all make it at the same one without going. Yeah, they would need, there's a lot of kids here. I don't think this would be maybe it's like, oh my gosh, is it going to be like, remember when the Duggars went on the road? Remember that special when it was like 16 kids on the road, or the Duggars on the road? Are the sister wives going to go on vacation for this next season? I mean, this is actually a good point, mommy of 6. Maybe they should live within their means. It's true. I could see Janelle loving the RV too. Janelle has always felt like very footloose, fancy free. Like she even said last year that she would love to just like have an RV life because she's got her daughter in North Carolina and she would love to be able to like travel back and forth. And then she's got some other kids. I don't know where her other kids live. Where does Logan live? Logan lives in Nevada. So Logan's the oldest. And then Maddie lives in North Carolina. And who's her other child that doesn't live at home? She's got one other kid that doesn't live at home. McKelty. McKelty lives in, no, McKelty is Christine's child. Wait. Logan. Who's Janelle's other child that's older? Like, I know there's Garrison and Gabriel and Savannah, but she's got 6. I'm missing one. Is there another girl? There's another girl I'm missing. There's Logan, Maddie, and someone else. I'm missing the 6th kid. If anyone in the chat knows, I can't remember. She says, I like Janelle. No, Aspen is Christine's, right? So Aspen is Christine's. McKelty is Christine's. Hunter. Thank you. Hunter is over at Johns Hopkins getting his, I think he's working on his master's. Thank you. When you said military, correct. He actually graduated from one of the military academies last year. And he is getting his master's degree in nursing at Johns Hopkins. So she's got kids kind of like all over the place. So an RV would suit her well. Yes. Hunter. Thank you. I was like, why can't I remember? Hunter looks a lot like, the boys in this family look a lot like Cody. But my real question is, how did Peyton get so tall? Like, Peyton's got to be like 6'5", and like Isabel's 5'11". Where do you think those genes come from? All right, so Duggar updates. Air Force. Yeah, I think it was the Air Force Academy. You're correct. All right. What were my Duggar updates here? Okay. Oh, so Grandma Duggar. I forgot about this. So Mary Duggar, she passed away. It's her 2-year anniversary. And I had an opportunity to speak to Amy a couple days ago. Actually, I think I talked to her today too. I talked to her a lot. But Amy posted a super sweet tribute to her grandma. And she had something to say about what her grandma would think about all of the things that are going on right now. And I was like, so if people don't remember, Mary Duggar passed away after she accidentally drowned. It's believed that she might have had a stroke and she fell into a pool. And she had had a couple strokes leading up to this and hadn't been, her health was not, it was fragile at that time. And she apparently, she might have tripped, fall, and she fell into the pool. So unfortunately, she had it. So her death was ruled an accidental drowning, and her memorial was a part of Counting On, which Deanna and Jill and Amy and Derek and the kids were all cut out of the show and did not participate in, even though they were all there. And the Duggars actually got a little bit of backlash for broadcasting the funeral. Some fans felt like monetizing and broadcasting the funeral was almost a step too far, too personal, because the kids were up there crying, sort of eulogizing Mary. It was actually overall really sad. But Amy, who is the only child of Deanna, she actually spent a lot of time with her grandmother because she and her mom throughout the years lived with her grandma. So even though the Duggars were, Mary was often seen on the show with the Duggar kids, she was most frequently with Amy because they lived together for a long period of time. So she said, I remember this day like it was yesterday, how much fun we used to have together. Hold on, I need a sip. My mom and I were talking the other day, and we were so thankful. She's at perfect peace. If she were here right now, her heart would shatter. Mima's memory lives on in my mom's smile and in Daxton eyes. She was such a strong woman, and her faith was steady as a rock. She never worried about anything, and instead she would pray about literally absolutely everything. Every detail of her life was covered in prayer, no matter what was going on. She taught me how to look to Jesus when the world doesn't make sense. Time after time, I remember her praying with me. What a sweet reminder that God has everything in his hands, even the unexplainable wicked things that happen in this world. The Lord knows and sees it all and will repay, and vengeance is his. Wasn't trying to get on my soapbox, but you know me. So she's all the wicked. God has everything in his hands, even the unexplainable wicked things that happen in this world. The Lord knows and sees it all, and he will repay in vengeance as is his. Wasn't trying to get on my soapbox. I think she actually changed this caption because I shared it yesterday, and I feel like it said, yeah, she did. She changed this caption. My goodness. So this is her second caption. So her first caption was this. I remember this day like it was yesterday of how much fun we used to have together. My mom and I were talking the other day, and we are so very thankful that she's perfect in her peace. If she were here right now, her heart would be shattered. Mima was such a strong woman, and her faith was steady as a rock. Thanks for an example in my life. Always and forever, your bestie. So she added quite a bit more about wicked, unexplainable things. So Amy has been definitely utilizing her platform in many ways to sort of indirectly send messages to Anna. So I know a lot of you guys think that when I bring up Amy, that I'm somehow like trying to make things out of nothing. But I have gotten to know her very well, I would say, over the past year. I would consider Amy to be a dear friend. And so I've gotten to know how she communicates about her feelings. And she uses a lot of quotes, and she shares a lot of like memes, and she just uses her voice to speak in generalizations, but in a way to reach her cousins. So I wanted to show you her Twitter because she's pretty active in what she shares. And if you're not following me on Twitter, it's at WOACB official. I don't get a ton of engagement there because of all the trolling. But don't let your ice cream melt while counting somebody else's sprinkles. She's got her store. This one I thought was interesting. And I was like, Dear Anna, I want my man to be able to enjoy his life and still be faithful. Go out and have fun with your friends. Just respect me in my absence. That's all I ask. Dear Anna. Your sin will find you out. $100. There are two ways to interpret YOLO. You live only once. Throw the caution to the wind. Break the rules. Have fun regardless of the consequences. Act selfishly and impulsively. Take unnecessary risks or thrills. Or you only live once. Therefore, live well. Strive to be generous and kind. Be responsible for your actions. Take care not to hurt the ones that you love. Make the most of your time, your choice, your consequences. Dear Joshua. The painful truth is better than a hidden lie. Like, her literal Twitter is just like all to Josh and Anna right now. If we sweep things under the rug, they don't go away. They just fester. But God likes to shine light in dark places. John 1:5 says, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. This was another one, Dear Anna. Note to self. If someone can fall asleep knowing you're crying, knowing you're hurting, or didn't get home safe, they don't care for you. So true. And she's always sharing super, super cute photos of Daxty. Daxty is the cutest little boy. She did this one.
I will not be silenced, and neither should you. I will not be silenced, and neither should you.
She has an NDA, y'all, so she will not be silenced. Who are you when nobody is watching? It's in those moments that you are defining yourself. There is a righteous wrath happening right now. If you know, then you know. And then this one was one of my favorites. He might love you, but if he can't love you properly and in a healthy way, then you need to pack your bags. Life is too short to waste time on someone who cannot give you your whole heart. Now, some people got super upset about the waist, W-A-I-S-T. She was using a talk to text on her Twitter when she posted that. And I'm guessing because she works in clothing that the waist sort of went to the waist of your clothing. So she was getting a lot of heat for that misspelling, which I thought was really stupid. You never ever hear a rumor about yourself and actually wanted to hear more, like, damn, what did I do next? Seriously, this is so my life. There are times when I see stuff online and I'm like, wow, I'm terrible. All right, according to rumors. But yeah, tell me more. This one specifically, I know this is for sure about the Duggars because, yeah, I just do. Mental gymnastics, the way that they can sort of get to any sort of way, like they can sort of find a way to excuse the things that they want to excuse. And, you know, the whole Biden is planting evidence, that kind of thing. So much mental gymnastics. Love with commitment, not with confusion. Oh, I went there. This is no reflection of Dillard. Oh, that's when the list of people I trust. So Amy, her Twitter is like, what I like about Amy's Twitter is that she's sassy. But she's always got like, she's also super positive and offering like supportive messages to people. So I adore her, and you guys should follow her on Twitter for her little quips, or you can check her out on Instagram. But you know that we love the Amy. All right, go Amy. You guys are loving Amy. I love this. You're loving on the Amy. It's hard not to love on her though, right? She's such a cutie. All right, so what else was I going to show you guys? So I already did a video this week about Jessa. She's doing a hospital birth, and she is talking about doing potentially an epidural. Yesterday, we did the video about Josh asking for a 6-month plus continuance because they want to hire their own forensic evidence person to go through his computer. When I saw that, I was like kind of in the middle, like a little bit laughing, because this is the FBI and HSI. Like, these are the most skilled forensic people in the United States, and the defense is going to hire their own. I wonder if the forensic expert that reevaluates all of these figures or all these products of Josh, if they will actually find where Biden planted the evidence. Like, will they find the cookies or the IP that shows that Biden was like in his computer and like hacking, like planting all the evidence? So weird. All right. Oh, you've missed me. Well, I missed you guys. Yesterday, I only did one video. And yeah, I haven't really been doing a whole lot here. So yeah, I'm glad you're here, Sherry. Okay. So I think the last thing I had was about Jilly Bean. I noticed that Jill's been talking a lot about stress and stuff. And I noticed that she has been posting a lot about healing. And I saw this and I felt like this was directly interesting. So Jill Dillard posted this, and it says, "A friend reminded me today of these great verses. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood." She says, "It's good to give thanks to the Lord, to sing praises to your name, O Most High, to declare your steadfast love in the morning and your faithfulness by night." Choosing to focus on God's love in the morning, faithfulness at night is both comforting and empowering, perspective changer. We like to ask the boys their highs and lows at bedtime and then pray and thank God for the blessings in the day. Have you seen kindness and counting your blessings increase your joy or change your perspective? Share your tips. She has been doing like a ton of gardening. And she mentioned earlier this summer that she was getting into gardening as sort of a like, because she found a lot of therapeutic like benefits from doing it. She liked watching things grow. She liked sort of creating things. So obviously Jill is still, I say in a lot of ways, probably struggling, but I think she sends, she's letting people know how she's feeling without saying it. Like here she says, planting and transplanting on a few things with my big garden helpers. So she was out yesterday transplanting some of the plants, and she's been spending a lot of time in the garden. Amy is a fun and positive energy. A while back, hoping her and Katie could become friends. We have. Amy is so incredibly sincere. She is the sweetest human being. Honestly, there's a few people that I'm friends with. I don't have a lot of friendships on YouTube. I've often stayed away from sort of YouTube friendships because I've found them to be a little bit messy. But some of my friends that I've become friends with are on reality shows, and Amy Duggar King and Lindsay Chrisley are like the two sweetest people. Like, they're the kind of people that will like check in on you if you're having a rough day. They'll be praying for you. Like, both of them know I'm an atheist, but completely respect that. They're always like, can I pray for you? I'm like, yes, that's fine. Like whatever you need to do. So yeah, she's just a really good person. And, you know, I'm of the belief that you don't have to be the same, like politically or theologically, to be friends with someone. It's all about just finding common ground. And that's what I really love about Amy, is that she's just so positive and she's so sweet. Like, I buy clothes from her store all the time, and she is always like, when she finds something that she thinks I love, that I will love, she'll literally send me a text message and be like, I'm getting this and I ordered this and I saw this and I thought of you. Please, you know, and I see it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so me. Exactly. Yes, everyone can be friends no matter what we believe. It's really funny today because I actually stumbled upon my Bible, and a lot of people have criticized me and they say that I don't actually like Christians. And so on my Instagram today, I shared a photo of my Bible and some of the passages that I had actually, I'll show you here in a second, underscored. I remember I told you guys that I really liked Romans. The chapter Romans in the Bible was like literally one of my favorites. So I had a pink Bible. I still have it. And I spent a lot of time reading it. And I just sort of shared my own journey of faith because, hey, a lot of you guys ask. So I shared this photo on my Instagram. And I actually, interesting sort of to note here is that when I was deconstructing and leaving my faith, I found a community called by this guy named David Hayward, who is the Naked Pastor. And he has a whole community of believers and non-believers that can come together and sort of deconstruct what they've gone through in their faith journeys. And that was sort of where I learned how to be, you know, with people that believe and don't believe. And it fostered a really good dialogue. And I learned so much in that. So I was sharing my pink Bible and some of my, I was looking through it today and I found the things that I highlighted. And I thought, and these are all from Romans. So these are from the Romans, the book of Romans. And it says, bless those who persecute you. Don't curse them. Pray that God will bless them. So one of the things that I used to do when I was really angry and really frustrated was I would just go into my shower and I would just like pray for everyone that was being mean to me or people that I was frustrated with. And I would just pray for them and think good thoughts. So that was something that, even though I'm not a believer, I still try to use that in my life where even when I'm feeling like I want to be angry, I always try to remember to like be nice to people, even if I'm mad. And it says, never pay back evil with more evil. Another one was, yes, each of us will give a personal account to God. So let's stop condemning each other. Decide instead to live in such a way that you will not cause another believer to stumble and fall. And then love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to others. So love fulfill the requirements of God's law. So I always loved the book of Romans. Even though I'm not a believer anymore, I can still find value in the verses. So my final share tonight is just sharing with you my own story, because I get a lot of questions about this. And I said, I always think it's weird that people criticize me for not knowing the Bible, but I've read the entire New Testament multiple times. I'll be honest, I've only read like half of the Old Testament. And it's true, you guys. I don't know if there's anyone else out there that can't get through the Old Testament, but for me, it's the stories of like cutting off hands and like the gruesome fights that I just like, I feel sick to my stomach reading it. But it's mostly because the stories are graphic and often gruesome that I struggle to read it with my very weak stomach. I said I spent years inside the Bible, highlighting, praying, and reflecting. Just because I left my faith doesn't mean that I don't know faith or the Bible. I knew faith. I grew up Catholic, baptized through confirmation. I left the Catholic Church in 2005. In 2014, I went back to church after my son was born sick. I needed something to give me hope. I dove headfirst in church every Sunday. I was a volunteer every Sunday and welcomed new families to the church. I gave them tours of the kids' rooms, told them where to check in and what to expect. I also volunteered as a youth leader and helped lead our 8th graders for a year. I hosted Bible studies every week. On Monday nights, we went to a home church at our pastor's home. I helped the office with mailings out quarterly tithing receipts. I went to church meetings all the time. And every single week, I did Christian yoga with people at church. So when I say that I was all in, I was all in. It was my whole life. So I do know the Bible and I know what it means to have faith and be faithful. I respect believers, even though I left my faith, because becoming a non-believer isn't a singular moment. It can't be defined in one point where you stop believing. For me, it was a long journey of diving in with everything, searching, reading, studying, and then realizing that no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't do it. And then my final thing said, believing would have been, and then I said, for me, it was a long journey of diving in and realizing I couldn't do it. Believing would have been so much easier than losing my faith. When we lost our faith, we lost all of our friends and all of our support. My closest friends were gone in a second. I know what it feels like in a way to be shunned. It was literally so painful to even it's literally so painful even to relive to this day. I invested everything we had into this church, and when we left with nothing, no friends, no support, or communication with anyone. That pain to this day prevents me from opening up to new friends. I get it. I see you. I'm sorry if you've experienced this too. So that is my story. I'm like Katie, but growing away from the Southern Baptist. It's definitely not the way it should be. I've seen it in so many different churches, and it wasn't just that like we left the church, but we left our faith. And when you lose your faith and you leave your faith, the people that have faith, particularly the ones where you built your relationships on faith, some of them had a hard time with that. So some of them reached out afterwards, but it got really difficult because the only time I would really talk to people was them trying to get me back to church. And I had to, put a boundary up. And I think a lot of that, when I think of like Dillard and Duggar talking about how she has to put up boundaries with her parents, because if you're ready to leave a situation and you're not only just leaving a church that you felt like wasn't healthy for you, but you're also leaving your faith in general, establishing boundaries is so important so that you can maintain your like healing and sort of stay clear of like getting drawn back in. It would have been so easy for me to be drawn back in. So yeah, that's what we've gone through. And we still to this day really don't have a lot of friends because we invested a lot of time. So we started going there in 2014 and we left in 2018. So the very middle of the year of 2018 is when we left. And like I said, we were very involved. So like I said, I don't hate Christians. I identify with them so much. That was my life. I was Catholic growing up, church, catechism, all that stuff. I'm glad you made healthy boundaries. It's all a skill so many adults lack. It's not easy, but it's the best. It is. It's hard to establish boundaries, but again, so a lot of people ask me like, why did I become an atheist? Like I said, there's not a singular event that happened. It was just over time. I couldn't do it anymore. And I just didn't believe. I have never thought that you hate Christians. I definitely don't. I think it's actually a very personal decision too. And I think there's a lot of division, and I think a lot of atheists particularly will like to be atheist and tell everyone that they need to be an atheist. And I even wrote for an atheist network for a while, but I never wanted to be the atheist that told you that you shouldn't believe because I had to get there by myself. And if you never get there, that's totally fine with me. Whatever makes you happy. But that's all I have for now. So Myka has deleted her channel. They're buying an RV with the sister wives. Amy Duggar King's Instagram or Twitter is amazing. I couldn't keep pretending that everything was okay. It was that, and there was just so many things I just couldn't believe. I just couldn't believe. And I tried hard to believe, and I couldn't. And I couldn't, no matter how many friends I made and how much time I devoted, it just sort of hit me it hit us hard. Is Todd an atheist too? So he is, I'd say, more agnostic, spiritual. He is very into Norse mythology, but I wouldn't say that he's like, I don't think he believes it. It's more like he likes the stories. He is Swedish and Norwegian. And so for him, it's just really learning about his ancestors. We're just heathens. That's what we always say in this house. We're heathens. Well, that's all I've got for tonight. And I hope you guys have a good day tomorrow. So we got an above ground pool. And I had no idea how much work this was going to be. And so we have to tomorrow finish leveling out the grass, putting down our sand to make the ground level, and getting everything situated to get the pool up. But this is our splurge for our son because he hasn't been able to go anywhere. And we were like, we can't go on vacation yet because there's still not a vaccine for 8-year-olds. So we're just going to get him a pool, and we're going to have like staycation all summer in our above ground pool. So wish us luck tomorrow. My son and I are going to be doing zip lining. So we're going to be putting the kite string, and we're going to be sending his toys down the zip line off of our deck. And I'm going to see if I can get him to play with his water table and see. He got a new swing, and I'm going to see if we can get him to swing too. Found a new home for it. I'm not sure what that was about. Yes. So I ordered a bunch of I ordered him a life jacket. We're going to teach him how to swim. It's going to be great. And it's great for his, he has low tone. So swimming is really good for him because he gets very fatigued. And when you're in the water, you're weightless. So with people that have low muscle tone, swimming is like where they can actually feel like strong. I've learned that through my son's occupational therapist. So we're excited about this, and he loves the water. Did I order modest swimwear? No, not. It is 14 feet. So not super huge, but big enough for the 3 of us, for sure. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me on the way out. Please make sure that you give this video a thumbs up and share this with some friends. And I hope you guys have a really good night. Bye, guys.